I'm so glad you're here watching these videos. This video we call The Widow's Guide to Stages of Grief. As grief counselors, Anne-Marie and I are very familiar with a variety of theories about how grief works. Most people are familiar with the stages of grief by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And society has taught us that these are the stages one goes through after someone dies. But Kubler-Ross was writing about stages one goes through when they find out they have a terminal illness. She never planned for these stages to be associated with the death and grieving it. So these stages have been wrongfully presented for years. And if you are a grieving person, you can feel like there is something wrong with you if you don't go through these stages and in that order. We wish there were predictable stages we could go through, but grief is anything but predictable. In our experience as grievers and working with countless grieving clients, we have found that the theorist we agree with the most is a man named J.W. Worden. Dr. Worden is perhaps the best known for his 4 tasks of mourning. Mourning is the processing of your loss, and grief is the emotional pain that you feel after loss. For the purposes of this video, I will specifically speak of loss as the death of your husband. First, it is important for you to realize something, that you have tasks that you, as a widow, you'll need to experience in order to help you heal, or you might call it recovering from the death of your husband. Now, these are tasks that require your attention and participation. Like Dr. Worden, we don't like to call these steps because there are no distinct and ordered steps that take you through grief. In this video, I'm going to talk you through Worden's 4 tasks and explain just a bit about what they mean. Now, the first task is to accept the reality of your loss. Accepting the reality of the loss of your husband means much more than admitting that he died. Acceptance is a gradual process that begins with the willingness to face and ultimately fully accept the hard truth of your loss, the impact that it has on you. The beginning of accepting the reality is to be able to say aloud, "My husband has died, and he cannot come back to me in this life." If you find yourself thinking, "This still doesn't seem real to me," then be kind to yourself. Healing from loss is not some kind of a race. You may wish to kindly say to yourself, "It still breaks my heart that my husband has died and that he won't be coming back to me." The second task is to process the pain of grief. You have, without a doubt, felt a lot of emotional pain following the loss of your husband. Healing means you need to thoroughly identify, then explore, and then express these difficult feelings so they can be released. Unprocessed feelings will stay with you indefinitely, and those feelings demand recognition before they will fade and are felt less and less. The third task for you is to adjust to a world without the deceased. When your husband died, your way of interacting with the world changed drastically, didn't it? Widows suffer many secondary losses. This means that you will need to make a lot of adjustments from sleeping alone to taking over his responsibilities to changed relationships with friends and family, and the list goes on and on. That brings us to the 4th task, and that is to find an enduring connection with the deceased, meaning your husband, in the midst of embarking on a new life. Every couple develops their own unique relationship, which includes the ways in which they connect. Healthy mourning never includes forgetting your husband. Let me repeat that. Healthy mourning never includes forgetting your husband. In fact, creating and maintaining ways to remember, honor, and remain emotionally connected to your husband will help remove barriers to learning what it means to start really living again. Now again, these are not particularly ordered or distinct tasks. These tasks are described by Worden as they overlap and they are interdependent. In other words, you may not fully accept the reality of your husband's death until you have fully processed your pain. and made some of your key adjustments to life, and determined how you will retain an emotional connection with your husband. Those are all things that work together. In fact, you can't really complete tasks 2, 3, and 4 without truly accepting the reality of your husband's death. Okay, I don't expect that you'll fully grasp any of this just from watching a 5-minute video. Perhaps the main message is that successfully mourning a loss is a multifaceted process. It's a journey, and that will double back on itself many times, and it has no perfect map to guide you through. We recommend that you come back to this video now and again, because if you do, you'll be able to get a sense of your journey and where you are now. Remember, it's a process unique to each person, and also remember, it's not a race. And when you are ready, if you want some help with healing and hope, please check out our unique widow retreats. We work with only 4 widows at a time, and they are incredible experiences. Thanks for watching today.